lights. This will be my...
Here we are, live in Baltimore, Maryland, the Charm City for Friday Night Lights. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We are broadcasting live on Twitch. Baltimore Vultures are playing host tonight to the Mexico City Aztecs in a fight for top 6 teams and battling for playoff position. My name is Eric Benson alongside Marcus Dunhill and Marcus Brown on stats tonight. Marcus, how we doing tonight?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. Both teams are looking to make a push for the playoffs here, and this game will certainly be able to give one team an edge over the other, depending on who can get the victory in this game.
Getting a look at the starting rosters here for both teams. And now we're going to head down to the coin toss here. Mexico City in the white jerseys. Green pants. They will be calling it in the air. It appears Baltimore has won the toss. They will elect to receive the opening kickoff. They're wearing their black jerseys tonight. And we will get everything set up for you here in just a second. We will pause for station identification. You are watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on Twitch for Friday Night Lights. Everything is set to go here in Baltimore. We are excited to have a massive playoff battle, and the kick is underway from Cole Varner. Fielded at the goal line, running up the field, and down at the 21-yard line, and that is where Baltimore will take over. Mike Dazzo, the legendary SFL quarterback.
Time to see what Baltimore is going to do in this game. They've definitely been a mix of high-power offense and running game, but let's see what they decide to do with this very good Mexico City defense.
First and 10 from the 21. Dazzo in the gun to start things off. He's going to throw, and he'll throw deep into double coverage and caught. Bishop Warfield out across the middle of the field to the Baltimore 42. Big chunk play on first down, and that'll move the chains.
Bishop Warfield has always been Baltimore's weapon when it comes to their passing game in the offense. And so a little surprised to see him going so risky on the first throw against the Mexico City defense, but it worked out for him on that play. We'll see how they continue.
First and 10 now from the 42-yard line. Toss out of the backfield and good first down yardage. That's the running back, T. Roy Gaines, getting his first catch out of the backfield for big yardage. and moving into enemy territory just like that to the 46.
T-Roy is an incredibly strong runner, and him going one-on-one with any defender usually ends up with T-Roy getting the better of him, and T-Roy was able to speed past the defender for the first down.
Bunch of wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen here. T-Roy in the backfield. Dazzo to throw. He's going to throw to the far sideline this time. Tagged down towards the 40-yard line, gain of 6.
Little bit of a slip up there on the catch, but a good job making that reception and making it a closer second down. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to pull that in while standing up. He might have been able to turn up field for the first down.
That was Lloyd Graham Jr., the tight end, week 5 signing to this Baltimore Vulture squad. We've seen Bishop Warfield, T-Roy Gaines, Mike Dazzo at the helm. There's also Daley Holder out there, wide receiver. And there goes T-Roy Gaines as he's getting first down yardage across to the 34-yard line of Mexico City.
T-Roy is good for just about anything under 5 yards, and you can see that there with that easy pickup of 2nd and 4 for T-Roy. Great runner when it comes to picking up those short yardage situations.
So now another first down for this Baltimore Vulture squad. Looking good here on their opening drive Friday Night Lights. Free play here as we've got MeUndies Laundry on the field. Bishop Warfield with the catch, but I believe they will accept the penalty. We will take a look.
Played it a little bit safe when it comes to the free play, but it worked out for him.
And that was our first MeUndies Laundry on the field, as I mentioned.
They were able to. They actually declined the penalty because they got extra yardage from the throw. They got 8 yards as opposed to 5, so they declined the penalty to take the yardage from the play.
Yeah, a short second down here for the Baltimore Vultures. Swinging it out to T-Roy. Nifty one-handed grab and then lowering the shoulder there, getting just enough yardage to get the first down.
T-Roy is incredibly strong on one-on-one situations, and that defender there had an opportunity to stop him before that first down marker, but T-Roy was able to lower his shoulder and get through. You know, you really can't stop him too easily unless you got 2 people tackling him.
So now a first down from the Mexico City 23. Baltimore knocking on the door here on their opening drive. Throws it across the middle of the field, and he's going to drag bodies into the end zone. Touchdown, Vultures.
Let's take a look at that replay. Great play by Dazzo, and it looks like it was Lloyd Graham Jr. if I saw that right. Give me one more second here to take a look on this replay. It was Lloyd Graham Jr. Made that catch over the middle, and that pass almost got taken away from him if that defender would have turned and looked for it. But he did a good job hitting Lloyd Graham Jr. right in stride, straight up, and he had a wide open path to the end zone.
Just a beautiful play there by Baltimore. Beautiful first drive here on Friday Night Lights. And now we've got Shark Tarkington lining up for his first extra point attempt of the game. And the kick is up and through. 7-0 your score in favor of the Vultures as they score on their opening drive. The SFL is brought to you by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. And in part by Extraordinary Everest, heartfelt messages on the most extraordinary place on earth. By Bit Central and Fuel, transforming SFL media in 2019. By Harry's, all you need for a close, comfortable shave. Tarkington boots it down the field, a good boot, and Mexico City will have no return. Take a knee in the end zone, and they will start things off at the 20-yard line, where Hall of Famer Matt Wilson will come out and lead the troops out here for his first possession.
So Matt Wilson and the Mexico City Aztecs, they're not any stranger to passing the ball or running the ball with Ray Bentley either. So, you know, we're looking to see if they can match up with this Baltimore defense.
First and 10, a handoff here to Ray Bentley. We were just talking about him. He'll get about 3 yards on the play. Good start. And it'll bring up a second down from the 23.
Any amount of yards you can get on first down is going to make it a more manageable situation. You probably want to try to get a little bit closer than this. You don't want to be stuck on 3rd and 7, but look to them to be able to move closer to get Ray Bentley within running yards of that first down marker.
2nd down and 7. Another hit. Trying to follow Tuckers, and he'll get down right. That is Joe Dazzo, the outside linebacker, coming in his 7th season in the SFL.
Great tackle by Dazzo and a good stop by the Baltimore defense to be able to force it to be now 3rd and 8, where they're probably going to need to pass to try to get the first down in this play.
K.L. Barrett, Richard Montague are the receivers. Mike Daggs, the tight end, as Wilson pump fakes and throw far sideline. It is incomplete, intended for K.L. Barrett. That brings up the 4th down, 3 and out for the Aztecs.
Unfortunately, Wilson threw a little bit too late. He probably would have been better served throwing it when he pump faked, but instead he pump faked, which allowed the cornerback to get a read on it, and by the time he threw it, it was way too late, and he was able to knock it down. He's just very lucky it wasn't picked with as much time as he gave that receiver to make a play on that football. So now we're going to see a punt back to Baltimore, and Baltimore had a very good offensive drive on the last time where they passed and ran very efficiently all the way to the end zone. So we'll see if Mexico City is going to be able to make a response on defense.
Alex Lopez, the punter for Mexico City on this 4th and 8. Nice snap, gets it down, no pressure coming from the Vultures. Fair catch called for and made at the 46-yard line of Baltimore by Cody Apollo, and that is where Dazzo and company will take over for their 2nd possession here. So as you mentioned, Marcus, a very, very good first drive here by the Vultures.
Mexico City didn't really slow them down or stop them too much on that first possession. It seemed like they were always moving through the air. T-Roy was always moving through the ground.
Three wide receivers towards the top of the screen. T-Roy Gaines in the backfield. Dazzo's going to throw far sideline. He's got Warfield once again, who's been very popular so far. As you can see, 3 catches, 35 yards early on. Even Lloyd Graham getting in on the action, had the touchdown pass early.
They're already up to 50 passing yards, and the day in that combination comes from just that play in the last possession. So a very good start for Baltimore so far.
Get to the Mexico City defense here in just a second. Dazzo under center with 2 backs behind him. He'll throw near sideline this time, and just a bit too far. He was looking for Warfield once again, but couldn't quite keep the toes in.
Looked like he was maybe on the sidelines by the time he caught that pass. Unfortunate. Oh, it looks like they're going to challenge that play.
Well, we're going to get our first Harry's Close Shave, Close Call challenge.
Get a better look at the sideline and see exactly where he was when he made that catch.
And let's take a look here.
It seemed like he was significantly far out, but all he needs is 1 foot, and I think he was far out of bounds on that play, but that's just my opinion.
It's not looking too good for me either.
The pass was incomplete. The catch was made out of bounds.
And catch was made out of bounds, so Baltimore will be charged a timeout. They'll be down to 2 timeouts for the rest of the half. From shave sets to handles, Harry's provides quality craftsmanship. Made in Germany, we make Harry's products from the finest materials and ingredients to ensure they perform as well as they possibly can. Use the coupon code SimulationFL at purchase from Harry's.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL. Harry's, official razor of the SFL. Dazzo on 3rd and 4. He's going to gun it long. Tipped up in the air and incomplete. He was looking for Daly Holder on the far sideline there. Couldn't quite come up with it as Zamora was in coverage.
Man, it's scary when that ball just kind of floats in the air a little bit too long and anybody can get their hands on it. It's one of those times where you see that ball and everybody scrambles to go get it, but good play by the defense, making sure that they didn't come down with that pass. First that punt.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Marcus. That was just what Mexico City needed there to kind of keep themselves in the ball game early, coming out to a 3 and out to start things off. So get another possession here for the Hall of Famer and see if he can take it down the field. Ball bounces at about the 10-yard line, and good play there by the special teams unit. Downs it at the 9-yard line. So Matt Wilson and company will have a long way to go to strike pay dirt.
Downing those footballs in the SFL is pretty tough. Players slide directly into the end zone. But that took a bounce almost directly up in the air. You hardly ever see that, and it gave him a prime opportunity to down that ball very easily. And now, like you said, Matt Wilson's going to have quite a time to be able to fight out of this position. And they're going to need to if they're going to show some life so far in this game, because so far it's been pretty one-sided.
3 wide receivers. Wilson's going to hand it off to Bentley, and what a hit by Joe Dazzo in the backfield. That's a loss of 1.
So far, of the 3 running plays that Mexico City has done, I believe only one of those 3 plays has gone for positive yardage. And, you know, that says a lot about the great run-stopping defense of Baltimore. And I'm sure if we give them more time here, Mexico City is going to find a way to get Ray Bentley free on this defense.
Wilson in trouble. He shuffles. He'll throw it over the middle, and that is complete somehow, some way. And that's out to K.L. Barrett for a first down. We'll have to get another look here, Marcus.
What a miracle play. Did you see how many black jerseys were around this person by the time he caught the football? There was just a small window and 3 Baltimore defenders all around him. So it's perfect positioning of the football by Dazzo, and a great job by that receiver to make sure he got a hand on that football.
Matt Wilson to throw again. Pocket collapsing, throws it over the middle of the field. He's got his man. And that is out to the 44-yard line. Looks like that was caught by Jamie Hernandez, one of the backup wide receivers.
So far, this is some good movement to the football to show some life from Mexico City. Good job and good opportunity for them because they want to make sure they get some points to stay into this game.
We've mentioned Joe Dazzo. Amon takes the other linebacker. Kaz McFly, Hendrick Wild, Thornberry, the corners. Tony Willis and Giovanni Bolt, the safeties for the Vultures defense. Thrown to the near sideline does Wilson, and that is caught by Montague, but only for a short gain. Second down coming up, excuse me.
Yard by yard, as long as they continue to move the football, it doesn't really matter how fast they move it. As long as they pick up a few yards here and a few yards there, they'll make their way down the field. And, you know, with their contract kicker, they're not too far out of field goal range.
5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Ray Bentley trying to find some room, and he is dragging defenders down, but eventually gets down himself to the 49-yard line, creeping into Baltimore territory.
Good run by Ray Bentley. It looked like he picked up a few people along the way, and he made a good job continuing to move his feet and picking up a few extra yards to get as close to that first down marker as they could to make this a more manageable third down for the Aztecs.
Wilson to throw on 3rd and 3. Pocket collapsing. He'll throw it to the near sideline. Tipped in, incomplete. He was looking for one of his wide receivers towards the near sideline. It's actually David Jr., one of the backup tight ends. Couldn't quite hold on to it there, Marcus.
It looked like it might have bounced off his hands while he was getting wrapped up and brought down by a defender. So not entirely his fault, but that's one of those things you kind of got to figure out to do is sometimes you know you're just going to get hit when you're trying to catch the football, and that's just something you got to do your best to be able to still catch the football and go to the ground if you can anyway.
So the second punt tonight by Lopez. Fair catch called for and made at the 16-yard line. And that's where Baltimore will take over again after a stalled second possession. But their defense standing strong so far against this Mexico City attack.
You'd have to like what you see out of Baltimore so far. They did stall it on that last possession, so it shows quite a bit of life for Mexico City and their defense, but you've also seen a lot of great things for Baltimore as well, so we can see how we continue to match up here.
3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Dazzo to throw. He's got a wide open man here. Tried to throw the stiff arm. Great tackle made out there by Fran Ogawa. And actually, let me go ahead and get to the Mexico City Aztec defense. We've got Jack Brown at inside middle linebacker there. Hans Hayumi at corner, along with Fran Ogawa. We just saw him. Pablo Zamora at strong safety, and 2 free safeties, Nick and Jeffrey Daggs, both coming into their second seasons in the SFL. 2nd and 1 from the 25. 2 backs, turn around, handoff. T-Roy Gaines gets just enough for the first down as he is dragged down to the 29.
T-Roy was able to get the first down, got exactly the yardage needed, and even a couple extra. He may have gotten brought down pretty quickly after that, but as long as he gets that first down, it really doesn't matter how many yards he gets, you know. Just always focus on the goal ahead of you. It might not always be to get into the end zone, but as long as you meet those smaller goals along the way, you're going to do a lot to help out your team.
creeping towards 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Dazzo's going to throw deep, and it's picked off. Looks like it was Jeffrey Daggs getting in there, and he doesn't just return kicks, folks. He intercepts passes as well.
I think that was all on Jeffrey Daggs reading the quarterback. I think it was a perfect throw for Warfield. Looked like it was his intended receiver, and Daggs was able to just jump up and get the football out of the air. So, there wasn't a whole lot he could do unless he threw it up a little bit higher outside of Daggs' range. But a great job by Daggs to force this turnover and give good field position to the Aztecs.
Aztecs down early 7-0 here in Baltimore. Crucial game for both of these squads as they are both in the top 6 of the SFL with the playoffs looming here in the next couple of weeks. Good catch there by Barrett for a gain of 5 on first down.
That's definitely what you need to do is you need to keep moving the football and make sure that you get in field position because you don't want to miss out on an opportunity here to get you're knocking on the door. You just need about 10 more yards, 10, 15 more yards to be able to attempt a kick. So you want to play it safe and get those yards.
Wilson, 7-step drop, pocket collapsing, and he'll go down. Big sack made on the play by Miles Jackson, and that's going to be a huge loss for the Aztecs.
That's unfortunate. They decided not to play it safe, which definitely is okay if it works out for you, but they took a little bit too much time. Nobody got open. Now we got sacked and they're further off, and now they have quite the play to be able to get back into it for him.
Wilson a throw. He's going to check it down to Bentley, and Bentley just had nowhere to go. This Vulture defense has been impressive tonight as he is dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. 4th and forever coming up here for the Aztecs.
Unfortunately, because of that sack, they're going to be outside of field goal range and they're going to have to punt it back over. But, it's definitely not the end of the world, and it's very, very early still in this game. And they should potentially be able to pin them pretty far back if they play their cards right.
Another high snap, but this should be a good punt again by Lopez. Fielded at about the 14-yard line, and Afala's going backwards. He's going back all the way to the 6-yard line. What a mistake there by the young kick returner.
That is not the direction you want to go. I may be a quarterback in the league, but I do understand that that is not the direction to return kicks. And unfortunately, that's going to cost Baltimore a lot of yards on this game, or for this play anyway, and now they're back pretty far. So I guess a good pin punt by Mexico City thanks to Baltimore.
1st and 10, handing off to T-Roy Gaines. T-Roy will get a gain of 3 on that play as he makes it out to the 9-yard line. A little extra breathing room here for the Vulture squad.
Baltimore is up 7. They have an opportunity. They are in control of this game. So they can continue to just play at their own speed, but they want to make sure that they don't end up punting so far back from their own end zone.
Another handoff to T-Roy. He lowers his shoulder, continues to churn his legs, and powers forward to the 16-yard line where it's going to be 3rd, and we'll call it a chest hair.
Great job by T-Roy, and it's unfortunate that they marked him a little bit short for T-Roy at least. Good for Mexico City. They have an opportunity to see if they can make a stop here. But I'm sure T-Roy was thinking he made it past that line.
High formation this time on 3rd and inches. Dazzo's going to throw it to T-Roy and lowering the shoulder. What a boom there on High Tayumi. I'm surprised he got up after that hit. Good run by T-Roy, and that's a 1st down.
Risky play calling, but looks like Mexico City unfortunately fell for it. The receivers went out and they pitched it over to T-Roy. T-Roy was able to get straight through one of his defenders, and it worked like a charm for Baltimore. So good play design and very unfortunate for Mexico City, but they still have more opportunities to stop Baltimore here.
Rapidly approaching the end of the first frame here. Throws it over towards the far sideline, and maybe a miscommunication there as it looks like we got Lloyd Graham Jr. hurt on the play. So he'll have to head to the medical tent, and we'll definitely address that once we get some more news.
That could potentially be a big loss for Baltimore. I know big tight ends are a big physical part of their offense, but we'll give you an update as soon as we got one here.
Second and 10 now from the 21. Dazzo in the gun, T-Roy sidecar right. Dazzo to throw, near sideline, he's got Warfield. And Warfield will get dragged down at the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Jeffrey Daggs.
Looks like they decided to make the safe pass to Warfield, especially if they're down a tight end right now. Makes it a more third and manageable instead of a third and long. It gives them the ability to try to do a run for 5 yards, or what they're more likely to do is try to do a passing play, but we'll take a look here.
And we'll take a look on the other side of the break as we've hit the end of the first quarter. Baltimore with a slim lead over the Mexico City Aztecs, 7-0 your score on Friday Night Lights. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We're live on Twitch. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill tonight. Got an impressive matchup between these two teams. Dazzo going to throw on third down, and it's across the middle out to the 37-yard line where it's going to be a 1st and 10 to Daly Holder.
Baltimore made a good job here. They got that first down. They don't have to punt right over the center there, and a good job by Daly Holder. He got a hand on it and didn't let any of the Mexico City defenders take that ball out of his hands. Looked like Mexico City was trying to strip the football at the end of the play there.
Both these defenses pretty stout, so you'll definitely see some extracurricular activities here as T-Roy rumbles forward for a modest gain of 2. You see he's already averaging 4.2 yards per carry here in the second quarter.
And 4.2 is a pretty good average in the SFL. It means you're moving, you're not getting stopped, but you're not making any huge runs. But that's certainly enough to get you those first downs when you need them. But when they ask T-Roy, I'm sure he'll start breaking out some of the bigger runs in a little bit, and that average will start to go up.
He always manages to find the hole and throws for a massive gain and a massive throw there, but another interception going back the other way. That is 2 for the future Hall of Famer Dazzo.
This is really keeping Mexico City in this game right now. It just seems like Dazzo just had a good read on, the quarterback the entire time and was right where he needed to be to get the ball from that wide receiver. It seemed like the receiver might have been a little bit out of place.
Definitely double coverage there. I'm not sure if I would have thrown that ball, but yet you're the quarterback, so I'm sure you know all about that. Pablo Zamora with the big interception, giving the ball back to his offensive squad here, and still having problems moving the football as Ray Bentley has been ineffective so far in the early goings tonight.
I can tell you is if you're a quarterback and you see a gap, you want to throw through that gap instead of throw the ball away. That's just quarterback instinct. If you see a place to put the football, you generally try to do that. And sometimes it doesn't work out for you, unfortunately, but you just try to make those big plays when you see them.
Single back is Bentley. Wilson going to throw Bentley's way. Who can't quite keep his feet in bounds. It's going to end up being a 3rd down. As we get an update on Lloyd Graham Jr., looks like he's just got some cramping, so he might be back in action later on, which is good news for Baltimore.
Try to keep an eye on the offense for Baltimore and see if we can spot Lloyd Graham when he comes back into the game. Unfortunately, on that last play, was thrown just a little bit too late, and Bentley wasn't able to turn upfield, but he had quite a bit of space in front of him.
Wilson to throw with time over the middle, and the ball falls incomplete off of the hit. He was looking for one of the tight ends there, but it's going to be a 4th down again for Mexico City, who can't take advantage of the turnover.
You can quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe another player in the SFL who ended up getting some cramps was Ryan Davidson. I don't know if he returned in that game. He must have had some pretty severe cramps, unfortunately. So I'm hoping Lloyd Graham's cramps are not as severe, and he'll be able to return to this game.
Absolutely. It's been a back-and-forth game so far. Neither team really getting a strong foothold. Baltimore cruising down the field on their first possession in the first quarter. But since then, 2 picks, and Mexico City can't take advantage of it on the other side as Baltimore almost gets to that punt. Fielded at about the 19-yard line, bringing it up the field to the 21 is Apollo. No going backwards this time.
I'm always concerned about the risk-taking of the punt returners in this league. I would always assume there's going to be more fair catches than they do. There was a defender 2 yards away from him, and he thought he could get away from him, and unfortunately he couldn't on that particular play, but it's a good thing he didn't get hurt.
Dazzo under center this time around. T-Roy in the backfield. He's going to throw that leg. Gaines gets stood up right around the 25-yard line, and that was a good hit by the defender, Franagawa.
That was a great tackle on T-Roy to make sure he didn't get free and to get any extra yards. So a great job by Mexico City in minimizing the amount of yards that could have been, because he easily could have got that first down or gotten a little further.
High formation, T-Roy getting a handoff this time, and this is where he excels here as he runs those strong legs across the middle of the field. And we'll definitely get another look here, Marcus.
You see a run like that, and that's where T-Roy's yards are going to go up. He just found a spot over the middle and ran for it. Mexico City was able to converge over the middle and take him down, but he is one of those people that once he gets free into a little bit of space, you're going to have trouble catching him.
And the fullback didn't even have anyone to block. He was the lead blocker on that play, and they had no one in space there for 7 or 8 yards. Good play there by the linebacker, swatting it down as it falls incomplete. Daniel Garcia making a good play.
Definitely a good read, making sure you can get a hand on that football and knock it down. That ball had a little bit of spice on it, and it was flying pretty good, and great job getting up there and knowing you could reach the ball and get it, because when you make a jump on that football when you don't get it, that pretty much takes one defender out of the play to be able to do something about that receiver who now has the football.
2nd and 10 from the 38. Dazzo, a wide open man towards the sideline, rumbles forward there, already walked out of bounds, but what a play there means. It's first down yards. That's Tyrone Means, the tight end.
So you can see something kind of interesting here. If you looked at the information of the yardage on the screen, it looks like Dazzo's sitting about 128 yards, but he also has those 2 interceptions, and Matt Wilson is about 50 yards but doesn't have any picks. So even though Baltimore is moving the ball a little more efficiently on offense, they've also got those interceptions, which is still keeping this a 7-0 game.
T-Roy rumbles ahead as he throws a good stiff arm there out to the 43-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd and 4.
As long as they keep moving the ball, that's all that matters. They continue further and further into field goal range, and they are pretty close to putting points back on the board. They're about 10 yards away from kicking that field goal again.
Creeping into Mexico City territory, Dazzo, wide open man, and that's the fullback. No, I'm sorry, that's one of the backup tight ends, Ty Jordan, getting his first catch of the ball game and getting much needed first down yardage for Baltimore. This is looking a lot like their first possession they had in the first quarter, Marcus.
It is, and that's where they came away with those 7 points. But now you always hear about that bend, don't break defense, and you're going to need some of that out of Mexico City on this possession.
Dazzo, plenty of time. He'll throw it to the far sideline. This was all that one. There by Nick Baggs, one of the 50s getting over there and making.
And here's one of the things about Baltimore is they're up right now and they got the more efficiently moving offense, but he's making such dangerous plays that oftentimes are so close to being picked off by Mexico City, and they've already done it twice. If he plays too risky, he could give that ball back over to Mexico City.
35, Dazzo in the gun. He's in trouble. Throw a far sideline again and couldn't thread the needle as Dags is there once again to make a play.
Defender from Mexico City made him a little late on that throw, gave them an opportunity to maybe do something about the football, and was able to force an inaccurate throw. So it was good job by Mexico City to make sure to pressure the quarterback.
Third and long now from the 35-yard line. Dazzo takes the high snap. He'll gun it deep, and he's got a man wide open. Daly Holders into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore.
they went off the side of that screen pretty quick, so we can't exactly see what happened unless we get that replay, but it looked like he either outran the corner or the corner didn't bite and turn on him. Let's see exactly what happened. So he just overthrew it, and he jumped for the football and just couldn't keep stride. That's what I said earlier about the risk of going for that football, because if you miss that football, there's nobody else that's going to be able to help you, and that's the problem. He went up to tip the football, it went right over his hand, which left a wide open receiver to run in for the touchdown.
And Marcus, we talked about this. It was looking a lot like their first possession in which they scored a touchdown, and sure enough, they capitalized here with another score. Bad snap on the extra point, but the holder gets it down, and Tarkington boots it through. 14-0 in favor of the Vultures now.
So far, you've seen the Mexico City defense playing well. They have 2 picks, they have some stops, they have a bunch of tipped balls. There's good stuff there, but they just haven't really been able to fully stop Baltimore from getting points. And the Mexico City offense, on the other hand, has looked pretty good, moving the ball a little bit, but they haven't been able to move yet into field goal range, unfortunately.
Tarkington boots it down the field at about the 1-yard line, and that's Daggs that will bring it up to the 21-yard line. Want to get to the SFL sponsors. They are brought to you. The SFL is brought to you in part by Matt Doyle Designs, official design partner of the SFL. By MediaTek Institute. Visit mediatek.edu for diploma programs. Turn your passion into profession. By MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women. And we will get to the others here in just a bit. First and 10 from the 21-yard line for the Aztecs. 6:36 left to go here in the first half. Matt Wilson throws it over the middle of the field. Caught for first down yardage out to the 33-yard line as we get a look at Dazzo's numbers, who's been active on defense.
Dazzo's got 3 tackles and 2 for a loss, so he's been playing outstanding so far in this game, and I believe he's got some tipped passes as well.
3 wide receivers for Wilson to work with here on 1st and 10. Instead, he'll hand it off to Ray Bentley, who's trying to get something going as he gets a good gain of 5 on 1st down.
Mexico City is not in too much of a hurry, but they definitely want to try to make a play and a note in this game before we get to halftime. They probably want to go down 14-0 at half here. So I'd like to see some speed and some hurriness out of this offense to get down the field.
Turnaround handoff again to Bentley. Squeezes through the first tackler and gets just enough to move the sticks to the 43-yard line. Bentley trying his best, like I said, to get something going as the Aztecs offense has been stagnant here in the first half.
Few runs he's been stopped, but this time he was able to get through and drag through a couple tackles. He even got contacted by 3 different people on that particular play, and even when he was going down and getting dragged down by 2 people, he was still able to get the ball over the first down marker to continue this drive for his team.
Mexico City down 14 early on the road here in Baltimore on Friday Night Lights. Wilson's going to throw. He's got a wide open wide receiver stutter step and out to the 32-yard line. That's the first catch tonight by Mike Daggs, the 6'7", 265 tight end.
Definitely a good play by Mexico City. That pump fake kind of hurt him last time. Pump faked and then threw the ball a little bit too late and it was able to be read. But a great job knowing where that football was. And Mike Daggs to grab that ball with a single hand and pull it in.
So big conversion there. 1st and 10 from the 32. Handoff to Bentley, who's got tons of running room, and he'll get a good chunk of 7 on that play as we get a look at his numbers to start the night.
Bentley's up to 22 yards, which, on the face of it, that's not very great for your first half, but you've also seen a lot more life in Bentley out of this particular drive than any of the other drives. So if he continues this pace for the rest of the game, he should be on pace to, have a good game for this Mexico City Aztec team.
Baltimore stacking the box. Instead, Wilson's going to throw, and he's got a man wide open. That's Richard Montague. As he's trying to find some extra room, he'll run out of bounds. And it looks like we got another injury for Baltimore. That's Tony Willis on defense. The sixth-year man, second year here in Baltimore, coming over from Alaska.
That's very unlucky for Baltimore. They've had a couple injuries. The last injury to Lloyd Graham didn't seem to be as serious. Let's see if we'll let you know when we know what's up with Tony Willis. But so far, a great job, Mexico City, driving down the field.
And just as you say that, Papadazzo doesn't like what you're saying, Marcus. He knocks him down and knocks him down hard.
Hey, I want to try to say as many nice things about both teams as I can, but a great job by the Baltimore defense to make sure that Ray Bentley wasn't going any further. They can let up 3 points and still have a significant lead in this game, but they won't have a significant lead if they let up a touchdown on this drive.
Creeping inside the SFL red zone right at the 20-yard line. Wilson is going to make that more down to the 11-yard line, and that's a gain of 9, makes it a 3rd and manageable off the catch by Richard Montague.
It's likely a time where they're going to go feed Bentley. They still have plenty of time left in this particular quarter. There's over 3 minutes left, so they're in no hurry whatsoever. They just have to worry about whether that run defense that seems to be getting Bentley 50% of the time is going to show up on this play.
And Bentley gets it right there, and what a stop made by Amon Takes, the second-year man, 6'2", 243, and he makes the huge stop on Bentley that'll force a field goal by Cole Varner.
Bentley looked like he tried to maybe spin out of it just enough to be able to get free and get that first down, but there was only about a yard to work with, so a great job by Takes to stop Bentley from getting that extra yard.
And I speak too soon. Aztec offense still on the field. Wilson barking, trying to get the Vultures to jump off sides as the play clock closes down 5. And he will have to burn a timeout here. So both teams with 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. Clock frozen at 2:40.
It's not always the best opportunity to try to do that, but when you're down and you have an opportunity to maybe get 7, and you don't know for sure if you're even going to need that extra timeout, if you get him to jump, what a bonus for you. You might be able to go up 7 points. So it's not always a bad decision to give it a try. And at least now they can try to settle for 3 here.
And here comes Cole Varner. This will be about a 28-yard attempt. All 4 seasons spent here in Mexico City. Good snap, kick on the way, and it is up and through from 27. So Mexico City finally on the board, 14-3 now your score, with 2:37 left to go here in the first half.
It's definitely been a Baltimore half, but you got to see a lot of things from Mexico City that you like. They can definitely come back from this game, but where it's going to start is making sure that Baltimore doesn't go very far with this potentially last possession before halftime.
Varner boots it down the field. He gets another good boot, and Apollo wants no part of that as he will take a knee towards the back of the end zone. Baltimore will get it at the 20-yard line. Baltimore all near the but Mexico City out there and numbing the deal a little bit.
So normally what I would say in this situation is let's see how aggressive they're going to be, but I think I've seen from this game that Baltimore is an aggressive team, and I don't think they're going to play it slow. Good job there by them. Looks like Lloyd Graham is back in the game.
Just a 3-yard gain there by Lloyd Graham, and looks like he's feeling better. And as I saw that in the chat. But I think that was Ashton.
2nd and 6. Ball at the 24-yard.
So a second and from the 23. Clock continuing to closer to the 2-minute warning. Down the throw. Throws it deep. Into coverage. What a leaping grab there by Daley Holder as he is dragged down at the 41.
They are really playing aggressive, but it's good for them if they can get some more points here. Was able to find a spot wide open as we head into the 2-minute warning.
And we have hit the quick 2-minute warning. 14-3 your score in favor of the Vultures. You're watching Friday Night Lights live on Twitch. The Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Takes the snap, throws it towards the near sideline. Daly Holder's got the catch, and they will give him forward progress before he steps out of bounds there. 1st and 10 from the Mexico City 48 coming up.
This game has really turned up Baltimore's way. Besides the injuries in this game, they're really moving efficiently, and as well as the Mexico City defense is doing to make takeaways and stop them, they just haven't quite done enough to stop them as much as the offense from Mexico City would need them to.
Snap taken by Dazzo. Dazzo's going to throw deep. He's got Bishop Warfield out to the 23-yard line where it's going to be a 1st and 10.
You can see the receiving numbers for both these receivers. It looks like they're combined, they're nearing in on 100 yards, so they're getting split pretty evenly. But you can see that Bishop Warfield so far has been that #1 target, but Lloyd Graham has also been injured for part of the game.
Hand off to T-Roy. T-Roy bowling over defenders as he gets an 8-yard gain out to the 14-yard line. We will take a quick word from Quip. Quip Design delivers simple ways to keep your mouth healthy with time vibrations. Brush head refills for $5, refilled every 3 months. Cover for life with free shipping for life. Use the link posted in the chat, and your purchase will help support the SFL through our partnership. Quip, a more wholesome clean. 2nd and 2 now as we approach 1 minute left to go here in the first half. T-Roy not going down by the first tackler. He will go down by the second, but not before the first down is made out to the 13-yard line. Clock continuing to roll, both teams with 2 timeouts. Dazzo to throw. T-Roy gains coming out of the backfield there, and he gets slugged down at the 13-yard line. Dazzo again under center. He's again going to swing it out to T-Roy, and it just falls out of his fingers there. And incomplete. 3rd and 10 coming up from the 13 with 34 seconds left to go.
You know, that was probably one of the better things to happen. It looks like T-Roy was outrunning his blocker, so it probably wouldn't have gone too far anyway. At least this time they get to regroup, stop the clock, and make a new play decision instead of having to run the hurry up. So overall, that's probably better for Baltimore, being able to regroup and make this 3rd down play.
Now 3rd down, Dazzo quickly throws it to the back of the end zone. He got Daly Holder. Touchdown, Baltimore.
What a weird play. I swore for a second that ball got intercepted. You know, I want to take a closer look at that play, but that's going to be Daly Holder's 2nd touchdown. What an incredible play. So it looks like the ball just barely went through the hands of the Mexico City defender. Man, I thought he was going to get his hands on that ball, but an incredible job by Daly Holder being exactly where he needed to be. I guess maybe it was a bit of luck knowing that there wasn't a lot he could do if Mexico City got that football, but he was exactly where he needed to be and was able to keep both feet in bounds on the other side to keep that touchdown in bounds. So now it gives a tremendous lead to Baltimore before half.
And it was such a quick throw, it was hard to tell where exactly he was going. Kudos to Holder for getting that wide open in the back corner of the end zone. And Tarkington adds the extra point there, makes it a 21-3 score. And Mexico City is in danger here of falling out of the race here early. Tarkington is all set up here as he kicks the ball away to Mexico City once again with 30 seconds left to go. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Jeffrey Dagg's going to return this. Sneaks away from one tackler there, and he's going to be dragged down at the 21-yard line where there will be 24 seconds left to go. Not a ton of opportunity here for the Aztecs to get any points on the board before the half.
No, if you go a little bit too aggressive, you might turn the ball over. If you don't go aggressive enough, you're not going to have enough time. So they're in a very tough situation, but it's certainly not impossible. So let's see what the Mexico City offense dials up for this 30-second possession.
Wilson throws deep, tipped in the air, and could have been received by the offense. Just a wacky little play there, Marcus.
So that's the interesting thing about that particular play is they were able to get their hand in and stop it. But if they hadn't touched that ball or tipped it to the receiver, there was nobody close enough, and that receiver would have gone all the way to the end zone. And that's why I say 30 seconds may be tough, but it's certainly not impossible. One good play and you get away from your defender and you can get in for a touchdown.
Snap taken by Wilson. Throws it towards the far sideline, tackled inbounds and that's Richard Montague with the catch there. And it looks like the Aztecs are content with just taking their medicine and going into the locker rooms being down 18.
Probably a good decision. You didn't get that first down, but you don't want to, force anything or get any players hurt. You're down, you have to regroup. You might as well take it to the locker room and see what you can do.
21-3, your score in favor of the Baltimore Vultures here at home in the Charm City. We will roll the 2K Sports halftime show. We'll be right back here on the other side of the break. You're watching Friday Night Lights live on Twitch, the SFL presented by APM Music. And welcome back to the Charm City, the city by Old Bay. I wonder if they'll take that. It's a lot of Old Bay around here with the crabs and whatnot. Nobody? Anything? Okay. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill. Want to thank you guys back. Thank you guys for coming back for the second half here of Friday Night Lights, the SFL presented by APM Music. Baltimore received the first half kickoff. They will boot things over to the Aztecs for the second half kickoff, and Tarkington's been doing that all evening long. Mexico City has got to get something on the board here, preferably a touchdown, Marcus.
Mexico City's had the halftime to try to make any adjustments they can to see how they can get around this defense, who's been doing good on the run stopping and pretty good on the pass possession as well. So let's see if they've made enough changes to be able to make a dent in this game.
First and 10 now from the 20. Hall of Famer Matt Wilson under center. He'll throw it over the middle of the field into coverage and incomplete. He was looking for K.L. Barrett, but Amon Takes and company were in coverage, and that was definitely an ill-advised throw by the Hall of Famer.
Yep, the throw wasn't the worst thing in the world. He had a chance there, but they really had that read. It looked like Takes was just running straight for the football, watching it go, and he was right where the receiver needed to be, but it's unfortunate that Takes wasn't able to haul that in.
So that brings up a 2nd and 10. Again, Mexico City, not with a ton of offense in the first half, finally able to get 3 points on the board as the first half came to a close. Wilson's going to throw once again. He's got time. He'll throw it over the middle of the field, juggled and incomplete. And it looked like the Vultures' defense had more of a chance there as we get a look at Hendricks, Wild, Thornberry in coverage.
Looked like the ball stopped on a defender's back for just a second. If the ball's on your back, try to hold still and let a fellow teammate go grab that ball for you.
Clearly, the Vultures weren't doing a whole lot of the tip drill in practice leading up to this ball game against the Aztecs. But their defense has played well. 3rd and 10 for Wilson. Finally finds a hole in the defense, and Amon Takes makes the receiver pay for it there. What a big hit on K.L. Barrett.
Matt Wilson is currently 13 of 19 for 121 yards, so not the greatest stats when it comes to the quarterback, but he doesn't have any turnovers, so that's good for him. And it shows a bit of promise. You know, it's above 50%, so it's about where you need your percentage to be, but you just need to try to be able to make a few more plays than they've made so far in this game.
Wilson to throw. Has time, throws it over the middle, and couldn't quite make the grab again. Good coverage by the Vulture secondary to force the incompletion.
Yep, just not a good opportunity for Mexico City to be able to catch that football. Unfortunately for them, they still have a couple more opportunities here on this particular drive.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 35-yard line.
So second down from the 34 for Wilson. This time he'll hand it off to Bentley, and Bentley goes absolutely nowhere. Papadazzo leading the charge and making the tackle.
Bentley's kind of struggled a bit in this game. He's either got some good yardage on the runs or just got stopped. You just see, a real 50-50 when it comes to Ray Bentley's production in this particular game, and that probably says a lot about the Baltimore defense.
So now 3rd and 10. After the no gain on the run, Wilson's in trouble. He has to check it down to Bentley, and Dazzo was ready for it there. And again, the Mexico City Aztec drive stalls, and again, Baltimore will get the ball back.
A lot of props to the offensive line for Mexico City on that play. They pushed defenders all the way around the quarterback to give him enough time to throw the ball. It didn't quite work out, but that was about half a second away from being a sack if the offensive line didn't do anything to stop it. And they did a good job moving those defenders around.
Another punt by Lopez, fielded by Apollo, and he'll bring it up to the 33-yard line of Baltimore. And that is where Mike Dazzo and company will take over. Something we forgot to mention at the top of the telecast. Mike Dazzo, number 2 on the all-time passing yards leaderboard. He needed 383 yards at the beginning of the night here to become number 1 all-time on the passing yards leaderboard. That honor has been held by Joseph Redfeather, who played his final season in season 9 in summer of 2017. So we'll have to keep an eye out on his numbers here and see if he becomes number 1 tonight. Although this time on first down, he gives the handoff to T-Roy Gaines for a gain of 2.
T-Roy just looked on the right side, didn't find anything, cut back left, and nothing there either. So good job by Mexico City to stop him. But unfortunately for Mexico City, it's not the yards that matter. It's the time they're going to take off the clock that matters when you're down 17.
2nd and 8 now. Another handoff to T-Roy. T-Roy with blockers in front of him, lowers his shoulder. He will get first down yardage out to the 46-yard line, and Gaines has been running with authority tonight.
I apologize, it's 18, not 17. I don't do math very well. But a great job by T-Roy making up for that last play to be able to get the football. Watch where those defenders are going. Follow the blocks, lower your shoulder, knock through people, and get that first down. He did just about everything he could and needed to on that particular play.
Let's go.
Jeffrey Daggs getting in there, making the stop. So a first down from the 46 of Baltimore. Offset I formation for the Vultures. T-Roy trying to follow blockers. Gets away from the first defender, but will be dragged down very close to the line of scrimmage. They'll give him forward progress to the 47-yard line as we get a look at his numbers tonight.
T-Roy's on 63 yards, and he's gotten to the point where he doesn't need to run very far. He just needs to keep running. So a great job by the Baltimore offense. Daley Holder getting those 2 touchdowns, and Warfield and Lloyd Graham just getting those yards to put them in a position where they can just keep running if they need to.
Dazzo to throw a design screen for Gaines, and T-Roy will get about 5 on that play. We'll call it 3 or 4, and they'll make it out to the Mexico City 49, barely into opponent territory.
Great decision making by T-Roy. When he caught the ball, he could have went left around the defenders, and they probably would have pushed him out of bounds and potentially stopped the clock, but he knew he needed to keep that clock ticking. So instead of going left, he veered into the right to make sure he stayed in bounds and kept the clock going for his team.
Bunch receivers towards the bottom of your screen here for Dazzo on this 3rd down. Instead, he'll go opposite end, and there making a big catch
Looked like Mexico City played off him a little bit and just gave Lloyd Graham a little bit too much room to be able to make that catch. You'll probably see them trailing behind Lloyd Graham as he makes that throw, and a good job to turn up field, get an extra 4 yards, but they just played off a little bit too loose, and when you do that with somebody as quick as Lloyd Graham is, you know, he may be tall, but he's also very fast, so you can't give him too much space or he'll make a play.
That pretty much defines the tight end position there. Tall, fast, big, can block, can catch. They do it all. Swiss Army knife of the offense. Dazzo on this first down. It's a screen to T-Roy. Has a little bit of trouble getting going, but man, does he get going in a hurry as he gets first down yardage out to the 24-yard line of Mexico City, and they're knocking on the door again.
It looked like T-Roy tried to stay in, but it looks like Zamora was able to push him out. So good job by Mexico City to be able to preserve a little bit of that clock. But it looks like he still made it to that first down marker. So, you know, Baltimore can continue to bring on the heat, either go on the clock. But now it's time for Mexico City to make sure that they keep Baltimore out of field goal range, because they're on field goal range now. So if they can, they need to push him back because they can't afford to lose any more points on this game.
First and 10 now from the 24. Dazzo throws over the middle. Ill-advised throw. And he is lucky that just went through the hands of the linebacker, incomplete.
You know, the best way to push an offense back is just to tell him to get off the field. And that's what he tried to do on that particular play and just wasn't able to keep his hands on the football, unfortunately.
Second and 10 from the Savages.
Second and 10 now from the 24. 6:27 left to go here in the third quarter. Baltimore already with a commanding 21-3 lead, trying to add to it here. They will not on this play, though, as T-Roy goes backwards. Great push by the defensive front of the Aztecs.
It's a good play by Mexico City, pushes them back a little bit, which is what they need to do. But all Baltimore is trying to do on this possession is take as much time as they can and see if they can get points along the way. So let's see what Baltimore is going to be able to do and whether or not they're going to force Baltimore to make a kick for field goal.
It's third and forever now. Let's see what kind of magic Dazzo has in his hat here as he throws deep. He's got Daly Holder once again, and another touchdown for the Vultures.
This is Daly Holder's third touchdown in this game, and it seems like the same thing that happened the first time was that there was just a little too much space, and it looked like their corner might not have followed him. Let's see. So it looks like he bit off on somebody else, and they turned upfield not fast enough, and nobody was on him for about the first 3 seconds, and that gave him a 3-second lead over everybody else. You give a wide receiver that much time, and he's going to burn you straight down the field, and unfortunately, it looks like the corners for Mexico City have just been out of sync for a lot of this game.
Mexico City in big-time trouble here tonight in the Charm City as the Vultures are about to add an extra point to make this a 25-point lead, which Tarkington does. Baltimore sitting at 6-3 on the year. Mexico City sitting at 7-3. Baltimore look like advance in the playoff standings here.
You know, if it continues this way, they're both going to be 7-4, which is going to be quite the good news for Baltimore, and you know, not as great. Although both teams will still be in great position when it comes to the playoffs. But when it comes to seeding, the advantage will definitely go to Baltimore.
And that is fielded by Daggs in the back of the end zone, and they will bring that out to the 20. For a touchback here. Want to get to the final sponsors here for the SFL. It is brought to you in part by Movement, premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories. By Quip, perfect oral care delivered. By ScoreStream, official score updates app of the SFL. And by SpyGoat, the sound choice. First and 10 here for Ray Bentley, who follows blockers out to the 24-yard line, gain of 4 on first down.
It's good to play without being rushed. You don't want to make any mistakes, but you really need to make some kind of answer because when you're down 25 points, it's very hard to get those back in a single quarter. So Mexico City, it's getting about the time where they need to start moving this ball if they're going to make a comeback in this game.
Wilson in trouble, shuffles around, throws deep, and he's got a man out to the Mexico City 43. Richard Montague has been extremely popular tonight with the Hall of Famer.
Not only has he been popular, he's been targeted 5 times and he's caught it 5 times. So every time the ball has gone to him, he's caught it. And that's not an easy throw to make. There were 3 defenders around him and 1 person was tackling him as he made the catch.
And I know Tony Willis went out a little bit earlier. We saw him back on that play there, so definitely more to throw against for Matt Wilson. This time he'll hand it off to Ray Bentley, who's had to fight for every single yard tonight. Dazzo making the tackle for a 3-yard gain.
You know, this isn't Ray Bentley's greatest game, but he's definitely doing his part to make sure they keep moving the football down the field, getting those first downs when they desperately need it. And he's been a great team player so far this entire game.
Three wide receivers for Wilson to work with. Bentley in the gun. Wilson will throw. He'll throw it towards the near sideline. Couldn't quite come up with the catch. That falls incomplete. 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Aztecs.
That was a close one. I thought he was going to maybe get it. It looked like he just spun back and the ball was just a little bit out of his reach as he turned around to go get that football, unfortunately. But it's still 3rd and, I guess a little bit long. It's 3rd and 7, so they do have an opportunity here still to get that first down. They just need to be a little more careful on this particular play.
Wilson to throw on 3rd and 7. He's got a man juggled and incomplete. Couldn't quite reel it in. And this has pretty much been the story of the night for the Aztecs as another 4th down comes up.
It's very unfortunate. It looked like a linebacker from Baltimore tried to get a hand on the football and missed it. So it looked like he might have had an opportunity at a wide open catch and just couldn't haul it in. And that is not a great thing when you're down by 25 points and you're punting the ball back to the other team.
And Mexico City been punting quite a bit tonight. Baltimore content with setting up the return here. Fielded right at about the 20-yard line, and Cody Apollo will get about 5 on that play. Jeffrey Daggs has been very, very active tonight. 9 tackles and the interception earlier in the first half.
Makes you wonder whether he's going to be making a bid for Defensive Player of the Week. You know, 9 tackles and an interception is good stats to have, and we're not even into the 4th quarter yet.
4:06 left to go here in the 3rd. Baltimore with the ball again. We'll see what they can do here on 1st and 10 from the 25. Quick throw and a quick catch by Warfield. Good coverage by Ogawa on the play. Only a gain of 4. 2nd down.
Warfield was able to keep himself in bounds, so as the play continues here, the clock will continue to wind down, and every second that ticks off the clock is ticking off in favor of Baltimore.
At some point, the Vultures will probably have to make this the T. Roy Gaines show and just hand it off to burn some clock. Not quite at that point yet, as Dazzo's going to throw. He's in trouble. He'll throw far sideline. Got Daley Holder once again, and Daley Holder has just been doing everything tonight. He moves the sticks on that play. 1st down.
What a play, and unfortunately for Mexico City, they weren't able to push him out of bounds, but you know, Daley Holder, it makes you question, you know, officially I was going to say Warfield was the best receiver for the plays he made, and then Lloyd Graham, now with 3 touchdowns and plenty of yards, it looks like Daley Holder so far is taking the crown.
And there's T. Roy right there as he rumbles forward for a gain of 6 into after the 41-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down.
And, you know, I make it sound like a competition between all those receivers, but it's not like anybody's having a bad time or a bad game. They're all contributing very heavily to this Baltimore offense.
2nd 4 from the 41. In the gun. He will steps up. Sideline toe drags by Bishop Warfield as he's down to 48.
Besides a couple picks in this game, Dazzo's really done a good job making it look easy. And, you know, it's definitely not easy. Mexico City is one of the best teams in the league. Their defense is always extremely strong, especially in the running game and in the pass defense. So a great game by Baltimore, but, you know, Mexico City is no slouch. Another good catch there by Bishop Warfield. They continue to just take time off the clock as they continue to go, as well as move the ball up the field, and it's just A little too much time is taken off the clock, and Mexico City is just not being able to make the stops as quickly as they need to.
That go under center. He'll hand it off to T-Roy. T-Roy moves forward out to the 46-yard line. He's looking good. 5 yards to carry is what every running back dreams of.
T-Roy's up from that 4.3 earlier in the game up to 5, and 5 is great. That means every 2 times you get the ball, you have the ability to hit the first down marker, and that's, above average when it comes to running the league.
That's over the middle of the field, and that is tipped and incomplete. Good into coverage there, and Garcia is good at the interception there, falls incomplete.
Good play by Mexico City. They stopped Baltimore from getting the ball. They weren't able to get hands on it, but stopping it is all you need to for now.
Number 44 is deep to receive.
Let's block the play, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Good punt by Baltimore. 1:30 left to go. It's going to bounce to the 5-yard line and propel itself into the end zone. And that's going to be a touchback. And 10 coming up from the 20-yard line for Mexico City. And boy, did they need some help on offense tonight. Couldn't quite get things going so far on offense. As we look at Ray Bentley's numbers there, 2.4 yards on the ground, not quite been good. And hit 4 yards out to the 24-yard line, second and 6.
Number 99, credited.
Mexico City's really got to pull something out of that bag of tricks here to be able to stay in. They're going to continue to compete. They're just running a little bit of time, and if they've got anything at all, in the developmental stage, the do not try stage, it's just going to pull out of the bag and see what happens.
And off to Bentley, and Bentley is going to work his way out to the 26-yard line, where it's going to be a 3rd and 4 coming out.
56 with the tackle.
If they have an opportunity here where they can hurt. Otherwise, when do you say too little too late, unfortunately, for the Mexico City offense? At some point, they're just going to run out of opportunity.
Wilson to throw. Wilson's going to throw near sideline. That's caught for a 1st down. And Mitchell Montague definitely needed that for his team there. 1st and 10 from the 32 coming up.
Doing a good job moving it along, keeping his team alive. As long as Mexico City has the football, they're not out of it yet. And even if they turn it over, or even if they give the ball back here, there's always a chance and always an opportunity, but they need to make some kind of big play to stay in this game because they're down 25 points as we go into the 4th quarter.
And we've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Friday Night Lights live on Twitch. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill tonight. Want to thank you guys for coming out and checking us out live on Twitch for Friday Night Lights. 28-3 your score in favor of the the Baltimore Vultures. Mexico City Aztecs are driving though as K.L. Barron makes a catch, and we'll get a look at his numbers here.
That's the kind of pass you want to see, and it looks like Barrett's got 4 catches for over 60 yards. That's incredible production, but unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out enough for Mexico City. That's the kind of plays they needed to see much earlier in the game, and unfortunately, they just weren't able to break those plays out.
1st and 10.
So maybe Mexico City finally find their groove here as they get into Baltimore territory. 1st and 10 from the 40. Could it be too little too late? Let's find out. Matt Wilson, the Hall of Famer, gonna throw. He's got time. Good pocket, and it collapses around him quickly. He'll go down at the 48-yard line, sacked on the play by the Vultures.
Baltimore has just been doing an incredible job on both sides of the field, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's the pressure or what, but they just took a little bit too much time, and it just has not worked out on offense for this Mexico City team.
Seems all night it's been one step forward, two steps back. Second and 18 from the 48 now for Wilson. Wilson in trouble already. He'll throw it out to Bentley, and good pursuit by the Vultures defense. Knocks him back 2 more yards, and they're back in midfield again.
Time to see what they can do. It looks like it's a long 3rd and 20 for the offense. You know, it's just not a good opportunity or place for them to be in with everything they've had to contend with so far in this game.
So now 3rd and forever. Wilson with his back against the wall. He's going to throw deep, though, and it's intercepted. Baltimore finally getting a turnover going the other way. Not like they needed it, but Giovanni Bolt making a big play.
You know, you look at a play like that from Mexico City, and it definitely didn't work out for him. But when you're down this much, that's the kind of risk you have to take. Because if it worked, it could have kept them in this game. And unfortunately, it didn't. It was a great job by Baltimore to take that ball away from Mexico City. But you can't play it too safe when you're down by that much. Sometimes you just got to play risky and throw the football.
So with the turnover, 1st and 10 from the 24 for Dazzo. He's going to throw deep, tipped in the air, and incomplete. Pablo Zamora had his mitts on it. It was intended for Daley Holder.
2nd and 10, and that's also not going to continue that clock for Baltimore. So good play from Mexico City as they continue to stay alive in this game.
2nd and 10 from your Vultures. 24.
We got to look at Jeffrey Daggs there from his free safety spot. 2nd and 10 now from the 24, 9:19 left to go here in regulation. T-Roy Gaines is going to get a handoff, and he has had big holes all night long. Pablo Zamora, the first one to get to him there, along with Jeffrey Daggs. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Vultures.
T-Roy has done a fantastic job in this particular game. He gotten plenty of yards, continued to have that 5 yards a carry. Just been outstanding for this team all around. You know, he's definitely, as well as those receivers are played, T-Roy has done everything more that he's needed to do for this offense, although he hasn't scored a touchdown.
Offset I formation. T-Roy's going to get the swing pass here. Looking for blockers. Doesn't get a single thing. And that is going to be no gain. 4th and 5 coming up for the Vultures.
So it looks like the Vultures are going to continue to punt that ball back, but in the meantime, they get to eat another 30 seconds. So I would expect them to hold on to this ball for just a little bit before they punt it back over. So we may be staring at the punt team for another month.
Not quite yet, my friend. Quick to make the snap, and Mexico City will still try and get as many yards as possible. And even though it's about maybe a yard and a half.
Figured they might hold on to that ball a little bit longer just to take a little bit more time off that clock, but it looks like they're a little bit aggressive and ready to hand that ball straight back over to Mexico City to see what their offense is going to do.
1st and 10 from the Savages. 41.
The Aztecs are desperate for a play here. Looked like Matt Wilson just trying to make too much happen at once. After throwing the interception, defense holds, so they get the ball back. Ray Bentley getting about a half a yard as he makes it out to the 42-yard line.
He picks up 1 on the play.
Bentley's had an up-and-down game. It looked like, you know, the 2nd quarter was probably his best quarter so far. But it's not over yet, but they can't rely too much on running when they're down by 25 points.
Baltimore stacking the box here. They'll back out into coverage. Wilson's going to throw deep. Couldn't quite connect with his receiver. I believe he was looking for Mike Daggs, the big tight end on that play. It falls to the incomplete. 3rd and 9.
Looks like Daggs might have got tied up a little bit with the Baltimore defenders, and it slowed him down a little bit too much.
I would not have been surprised if they called a little DPI there, defensive pass interference, but might have been a little too ticky-tacky, Marcus.
Yeah, looks like they're going to continue just to let him play.
And Mexico City's got to continue to air it out here because they got 3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Could have been going the other way. Don't throw it in the no McFly zone. That's Kaz McFly there, and he could have taken 6 going the other way.
You know, with that other call on the pass interference, I think they let it go because it didn't look intentional by either team. It just looked like everybody kind of ran into each other there for kind of a minute there. But great job by Kaz McFly to be able to stop that ball. We haven't seen too much of him tonight, but the rest of his team have been putting on quite a show so far in this game.
So another Mexico City punt. And we'll see another small return by Cody Apollo as he makes it out to the 20.
Looks like Mexico City's just not having an opportunity to get anything done in this game. And, you know, with as much time as left and how far Mexico City is down, I don't know what they can do so far to come back into this game, but Baltimore has really just had their foot on the pedal the entire game, and they've had full control over where this game has been going since the start.
7:32 left to go in the ball game. First and 10 from the 20. T-Roy barrels through one defender, and he'll get about 2 on the play out to the 21. 2nd and 8.
T-Roy doing his part to help kill that clock, getting a few yards, playing it safe, staying in bounds, not doing anything too risky. Look at that. Daily Holder, 7 receptions, been thrown to 11 times, but he's got 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards.
Snap taken, another handoff to T-Roy. T-Roy's got a burst of speed, and he'll make it out to the 33-yard line for another first down for the Vultures.
Very lucky for Mexico City to pull him down. It looked like T-Roy had a blocker up top, and he might have been gone if he was able to get through there. But they did a good job. I think they grabbed him at the last second before he was about to get away. If he would have broken that tackle, we might have seen the T-Roy show all the way to the end zone.
So clock continuing to run. We'll see how far Dazzo wants to take this down. Mexico City showing blitz. They'll back out. Dazzo's going to throw. He's got his man. That's Cody Apollo with his first catch, I believe, as he gets first down yardage out to the 46-yard line.
He's able to find a little bit of space open on the right side of the field where he's able to make that catch. It seemed like nobody was quite in front of him. He was tangled up, it looked like, for just a second, and that threw off there. Looks like a potentially linebacker there. Just threw him off a little bit where he didn't follow Apollo and gave him an opening to catch the football.
And that's our Everscroll block of the game. Everscroll brought to you by Movement. First and 10 from the 46. Throw over to Daily Holder. He'll get 5 as he falls out of bounds there. Everscroll by Movement blocks blue light to protect your eyes from digital screens. Don't hurt your eyes by checking out SFL action. Protect them and see every moment by using the promo code SimulationFL at purchase from movement.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL through our partnership, Movement, premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories. So 2nd and 5 now for Dazzo. Mike Dazzo going to throw. He's got his man. That's his tight end, as he'll get a small amount of yardage out to the 46-yard line. Dazzo getting dangerously close to becoming #1 all-time in passing yards in the SFL.
Yeah, Dazzo's really had quite the career so far. He's been in the league, and I believe all, or if not very much of his career has been with Baltimore, let it be the Crabs or the Vultures. He's had quite a storied career, and it's pretty much been with this franchise.
And Bishop Warfield getting more yardage for Dazzo as he gets a catch out to the 38-yard line, where it's going to be another first down. And almost fitting here, if Dazzo able to make this epic piece of history for the SFL, Ramos Lynn, the owner of the Mexico City Aztecs, actually started in the SFL as a teammate of Dazzo on the Baltimore Crabs in Season 3. Some fun facts there as Daily Holder makes the catch out to the 14-yard line, and Daily Holder has just been making tons of plays tonight for his squad.
You know, coming up here, we're going to have to look at who's going to get player of the game, and I know Dazzo is throwing all of these yards and these touchdowns that all these receivers have, but from what Daily Holder has done, I feel like, to me, he's going to be that player of the game.
From the 14, Getting close to 4 minutes to go here. I formation for the Vultures. They have controlled every bit of this ball game tonight. Dazza will swing it out to T-Roy. T-Roy throws a stiff arm as he's escorted out of bounds to the 9.
T-Roy's confident that his team's going to pull off some points here, that he's not even too worried about stepping out of bounds and stopping the clock, because he believes if they get some points here that it'll be too many points for Mexico City to be able to come back. And Dazza's got 107.2 passer rating and it looked like 360 yards.
He needs 23 yards to become on all-time passing. 2 speed the game that stood up the line of scrimmage, but on the field.
Looks like he's not going to get it on that particular play, but a good opportunity by Gaines. It looks like it's going to be offsides of the defense on Mexico City, and it looks like they're going to accept a penalty, and I believe that's going to give Baltimore Vultures a first down here, and it's probably going to be within the 10-yard line.
And we'll get a quick check here of the yardage. Looks like it's going to be 2nd and inches from the 4. Hand off to T-Roy, and T-Roy a little bit slow going on that play as he makes it out to the 7, but it's still going to be 3rd down for the Vultures.
So far, they got another try here, but they can also watch that clock go down, so it's not too late. But I thought on that penalty they might have gotten enough, but just not enough to be able to get that first down. See if they can come away with maybe another first down or a touchdown on this play.
Guys are going to make sure that every second gets bled down from that play clock before he snaps the ball. He'll snap it with 2 on the clock. Dazzo, he'll throw a screen to T-Roy, and T-Roy will go down, and that will bring up a 4th down. We'll get a quick word here from MeUndies. MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/simulationFL for 15% off your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping, and returns. Signature soft and stretchy MeUndies. We're going to add insult to injury here and attempt a field goal with a 24-yard field goal for Shark Tarkington as the high snap gets down, up, and through. So 31-3 now your score.
Tough game, and I'm probably, unfortunately, going to have to make that call here where I don't know if in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds if Mexico City is going to be able to come back 28 points in the next 3 minutes. So we'll see what they're going to work with here when they get the ball back.
And a good kick return by the Aztecs out to the 28-yard line. Too little too late here, partner, as it's 2:33 left to go here, down by 4 scores. Not a whole lot that they can do at this point.
Always want to try to stay optimistic if I can.
And a good run there by Bentley as he makes it out for a gain of 3. Not quite what you were looking for there on first down, trying to get some points on the board.
No, it definitely might be in the hands here for Baltimore in this game. But if they can make enough stops here, they might be able to get the ball back and see if they can get Dazzo those yards he needs to become the all-time passer. And if they can't, maybe he can do it next week because he'll only need about 20 if he doesn't get any more here.
He is dangerously close. Wilson's going to throw. He's going to check it out to Ray Bentley, who gets ushered out of bounds at the 36-yard line, where it's going to be a 3rd and short with 2:23 on the clock.
This is certainly going to be 4th down territory when it comes to the Mexico City offense. You know, they pretty much going to need to go for it on every single down they have. They really don't have anything to lose with how much they're down. It really, if the ball turns over, it doesn't matter. So if they don't make it here, they're going to be going for it on 4th down.
Wilson in trouble right away. He somehow completes it to Daggs over the middle, who gets a 1st down. And they're going to go no huddle here, trying to get one more play in before the 2-minute warning. Wilson will get that play in. He's going to swing it out to Bentley, who stumbles, and he will fall out of bounds with 2:05 left to go here, so we'll still get one more play.
Unfortunate they went a little bit further back on that particular play than they probably wanted to, but all they can do is just salvage whatever they can from this particular drive and try to make some kind of statement before the end of the game.
One more play here before the 2-minute warning. Wilson to throw. He'll throw it deep. He's got Daggs wide open, and he'll get the 1st down out to the Baltimore 33 as we have hit the quick 2-minute warning here in Baltimore. We'll get a quick replay of this epic catch here by Mike Daggs.
As much as Mexico City's offense has struggled, Daggs has made some pretty good plays on this particular game. So great job for Daggs and a good job from that Wilson, making those plays when he can. Everybody's giving a good effort on the Mexico City team, but it seems like Baltimore is just ready for them on just about everything they try to do.
31-3 your score. On the other side of the quick 2-minute warning, Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill. Thanks for joining us for Friday Night Lights tonight live on Twitch as Ray Bentley gets the swing pass coming out of the 2-minute warning. And we've got a word from Quip. Quip Design delivers simple ways to keep your mouth healthy with time vibrations. Brush head refills for $5, refilled every 3 months. Covered for life with free shipping for life. Use the link posted in the chat, and your purchase will help support the SFL through our partnership. Quip, a more wholesome clean. Wilson's going to throw. He'll throw far sideline. He's got Richard Montague, who's had a ton of catches tonight. I believe that's his 6th or 7th at least. Still a 3rd and 3. Wilson, near sideline, caught by K.L. Barrett, moves the 6 to the 20. Wilson, he'll throw far sideline. He's got Montague. Montague stepping out of bounds at the 13-yard line with 1:26 frozen on the clock.
Moving very close to the end zone. Good opportunity for Mexico City to put some points on the game when they walk out of this stadium.
2nd and 2.
And it's definitely looking like Baltimore's going to move to 7 and 3. And Mexico City will fall to 7 and 4 as Wilson throws back corner of the end zone, tipped and incomplete. That was Kaz McFly once again.
Good tip from McFly, making sure Bear was able to make that catch. This is pretty much the time where Mexico City can try to take some points and go home. It definitely wasn't the game that they were looking for, but if they can put a drive together here, that'll give them a better ride home, the ability to say, we didn't win this game, but we're still a tough team.
And Mexico City going to go on the road to Chicago in the Thunderdome against the Wildcats coming up next week. And that will be a tough test as Chicago is in a fight for their playoff lives as well.
Looks like Barrett's got 81 yards on 6 catches, so that's a really good average for him. Looks like he's actually averaging 13.5 yards per catch when he catches the football, so good for him, making the best of the opportunities he's got.
So now 1st and goal from the 6. 1:17 left to go. Wilson finds Bentley out of the backfield, who throws a stiff arm as he walks out of bounds, and it's only a gain of 1, 2nd and goal.
So Mexico still got their 3 timeouts, which means when the ball goes back to Baltimore, it's not quite over unless they get a 1st down or they use a timeout on this drive.
2nd and goal. Ball at
So it looks like Baltimore's not going to be able to take knees on the other side of this possession until that timeout is taken.
3 wide receivers for Wilson. Takes a 7-step drop, and he's in trouble right away. He goes down back of the 13-yard line, and Mexico City has to burn their first timeout.
That timeout means when they get back on the other side, they're not going to be able to stop as much time on the clock as they would have, but it gives them an opportunity to regroup now that it's 3rd down.
And Baltimore fans still here. They are on their feet, and they are loud. Third and goal from the 13. Wilson steps up. He'll throw towards the near sideline. Got K.L. Barrett, who gets through the defender but can't quite keep in bounds as he'll go out at the 7-yard line. We'll get a comparison there between Barrett and Daly Holder on the other side.
Daly Holder's got over 147 yards as well as 3 touchdowns, so he's definitely having a better day than Barrett. But Barrett is definitely doing his part for the Mexico City offense.
So 4th and goal. Wilson throws back of the corner, end zone, incomplete. And this Baltimore secondary has been incredible tonight.
Just stopping them from getting the ball. Looks like Paul was the one who was on the coverage, and he made a good job. It looks like maybe he got a hand on it, but he definitely distracted the receiver enough where he couldn't make a play on that football. And that's going to give it back to Baltimore now with a minute and 1 second left and 2 timeouts from Mexico City. So at the very worst, if Baltimore doesn't get a first down, Mexico City might get the ball back with 15 seconds or 15 to 20 seconds.
It's certainly looking bleak, and the second team offense is in now for Baltimore as Mexico City blows through their second timeout, 56 seconds left on the clock. We mentioned who Mexico City will be playing next week. Baltimore going on the road as well, and they will be traveling to Houston at Hyena Den Park Stadium, where they will play the Hyenas. And the Hyenas are definitely in a fight for their lives as they have to win out to even have a chance to make it into the playoffs. Baltimore takes the knee there and forces Mexico City to go through their 3rd timeout.
So it looks like they're probably going to take one more knee here, and then they will be forced to punt the ball away before the end of the game. But it's not going to leave Mexico City with any more than probably about 12 seconds.
Not looking like a knee here. It looks like they might run a play on 3rd and 10. It will be a turnaround handoff. And I'm not 100% sure why you'd run a handoff in that situation.
If you've already taken a knee, it probably, they can do whatever they want. Maybe they wanted to give their backup running back a yard or 2 in the game. Who knows? But it worked out for them, and now they're just going to take some time off the clock and punt the ball back to Mexico City, where Mexico City is likely to have 1 or 2 more plays before the end of the game.
44 is deep to receive. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's go.
And that's been an impressive showing here by Baltimore tonight as Mexico City just could not do anything against this Vulture defense. A quick punt there by the Vultures and a fair catch called for and made at the 37-yard line. So about 8 seconds left to go and no timeouts for Mexico City. We'll see if they can just chuck it in the end zone and get a garbage time touchdown.
8 seconds left on the clock, but I feel like I got to toot my own horn a little bit. They punted the ball with exactly 12 seconds on the clock. See what Mexico City is going to do with their likely maybe last 2 plays of the game if there's an incompletion on this play.
Wilson in trouble, and he's going to go down. That is going to end the ball game right there. Mexico City falls to Baltimore 31-3 in Baltimore, Maryland tonight. The Vultures looking better as the postseason push moves along. Baltimore moving to 7-3 with just 2 more games to go. And Mexico City falling to 7-4 as we roll the 2K Sports post-game show. Any final thoughts before we let the people go here, Marcus?
I think good football all around by Baltimore. Their offense played incredible. Their defense played great. And even for Mexico City, it didn't quite work out, but you saw a lot of promise from both sides of the football. And, you know, I guess I'll chalk this one up to Baltimore being a little more ready and a little more prepared for this particular game than Mexico City was. But now they're both 7-4. Mexico City is still in a great place for the playoffs, and they're still an incredibly strong team. So yes, they didn't win, and it was a very tough fight, but they're in no means in any bad situation when it comes to making a run for the championship.
And we have certainly seen the Mexico City magic come to life in previous seasons here in the SFL. So be sure to stay tuned, as we've got 2 more weeks left to go. We've still got week 11 to go here as well. Plenty of fun games coming up on Twitch and YouTube. We'll have our games on Twitch tomorrow night. As we get a look at Mike Dazzo's numbers there, 359 passing yards, which is, basic math serves me right, about 24 yards shy of becoming the #1 in all-time passing yards in the SFL.
Hopefully, if he's able to get those 24 yards, we'll see him reach that milestone in the next game. And it looks like the extraordinary evidence player of the game is going to be Daley Holder for his 9 receptions, 147 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 16.3 yards per catch, which is great for the wide receiver. An incredible game by Daley Holder, and he deserves that award.
Absolutely. Want to thank you guys for coming out, checking out Friday Night Lights, live on Twitch, a presentation of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. On behalf of Marcus Dunhill and all the fine people at SFL headquarters deep in the heart of Texas, my name is Eric Vincent. So long for now.